Where is Charles Smith?
South Oregon Road, all kinds of spots out by the girl in front of it.
Hey, we live, Weatherman. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it, Weatherman.
Right.
Well, we zoom it in.
I'm not getting it yet.
Share that public.
Chanel with your pub.
My husband's on.
Hey, Dave.
From South Carolina.
All the way. Hey, he liked it. Liked it. Hey, they're ready to hear about this controversial hot topic.
Hey, who's our first person on the air? Oh, there's Miss Controversy herself, Brittany Renee.
Brittany Renee, she's ready for this. She's supposed to be here today. How we looking at that?
She's been there wearing, she's been warming her fingers up, getting her typing fingers ready.
Woo! I might get beat up by
Chris Archer,
the time this show's over.
Miss Carney, Linda Brooks. Hey, who would I call her here?
Mama.
Mama.
That's right. Hey, Tom Love, my man. Thank you for joining, buddy. The creator of
Charlie
EOS.
Davidson. Hey, Tom Love. Why can't we say Stephen? It says Tom.
Well, I don't know. I'm glad he said my name though.
Sure
Not
did.
yours.
He must know about
We're
this
about to
topic.
get started, kids. Where's our girl, Kathleen? We can't do the show without
Uh-oh.
Kathleen.
There's your best friend.
Adam,
No, Tony. Adam kind of lost his status.
who's my best friend?
Tony Woodall.
Tony, brother Woodall.
Oh, Big Adam Wright. Mama.
Mama.
What Tony said.
All right, Weatherman, I'm gonna let you go ahead. The audience is here. Hey, we're booming.
Hey, we got the legendary co-host in our audience today. One that bumped the ratings up about 28% last week, the Storm. Matter of fact, there's a little
That's
paper
right.
going around trying to get you out.
They trying to get rid of me.
her
Trying to
in.
get rid of me.
Little paper, yeah.
My favorite Laotian friend, Janny Fast Hands, is on here from Cancun. That's great.
We probably have to edit that out.
Successful. What's that?
That your friend, your name of your friend. Anyway, so we're gonna go to our sponsors. Our
Yes,
people,
go ahead and get us started,
hey,
Weatherman.
People keep the electric bill
That's
turned on
right.
around this place. Hey, we got three of them we'll talk about today. First, we'll talk about Scott Abernathy, probably one of the best property managers in all of this surrounding areas.
He's the best.
We also have a new name for Abernathy, if I'm not mistaken. Has he got that? Has he got a new name?
I don't know if he's changing the name. I just
Okay.
know that he's in a franchise. But I
Okay.
still think it's Reliant Property Management, unless he tells us. But for now,
Different.
we're going with what we got.
Congratulations on that. Roy Frazier, who is fishing today. He's the trout magnet and also one of our preferred insurance guy over there with Farm Bureau Insurance. With all these storms going on, you definitely want to have somebody on your side. And my girl, Belinda Arender, who also gave me this book today, and this is your guy. Person of interest. So Belinda Arender, which is definitely one of the most strongest mortgage lenders in this
She's strong.
God, she's strong. Man, Belinda, you're a bad chick. That's what I'm going to say. So, guys, if you're looking for somebody to do your mortgage, definitely give Belinda Arender a call. And also, we're thinking and praying about you this weekend. Know you got a big weekend coming up. Guys, we can't forget about the big guy.
Can't forget the big guy.
The big guy who lets us do all this stuff. So, hey, we want to thank John Jones. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to do this in your place of establishment over here.
We got to get a sponsor up here for a bug guy too. We got to get that. We got to get.
That's Charles Bain, right?
Got to get Charles. We got to get his stuff up here. So.
Hey, he did one for me. We had a deal going up and had somebody find something, and he come back and did it. So, Charles, appreciate you being
He
honest.
also said one didn't have termites.
That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate his
the honesty, integrity. That's what we're talking about. So hey, I'm back.
Andrew Benson, Josh Henry.
I'm back. Thank you for everybody that held the fort down. Real Estate 101 will always go on no matter where I'm at, where you're at.
No matter what.
It's always going to go on. So everybody, please please share. The reason why I want you to do this is not to get us more business, but I want to reach 130,000 people. So if you share this, I greatly appreciate it. If you also share it, one of you will go into a raffle where you can win an Alley on Main gift card for either lunch or dinner, $25 on this guy right here. So please share the stream, folks. Please share me out.
This week's going to cost you $50
Why's that?
because you got to do it for last week as well.
Ooh, see, when I'm not here,
Well, we want you to pull them out. That's
Well, I'll pull them out. Okay. So hey, let's go ahead and get some of the things out on the open before we. Some people are asking questions.
Hey,
Uh-oh.
Chris, I
Hey,
can sell you a house. Girlfriend, no girlfriend. Bring it, baby.
Adam's
So-
leaving.
So Adam left.
No, it's an interesting topic, but gotta work.
Oh, okay. He's got to work. He's got to sell some fertilizer. Here's what we're talking about today, guys. And I got this topic. I'm not going to go into depth about how I came up with this topic.
I would.
But well, I don't want to say anything that may incriminate anybody that was around. But a lot of times we are in a transaction or potential transaction where there's a boyfriend and a girlfriend, maybe a boyfriend and a boyfriend. I've had girlfriends and a girlfriend. So I've had it all. Had every type of situation. And we're not bringing religion, we're not bringing the Bible in on this. This is purely from a financial responsibility, a financial commitment. So well, I may have to keep saying that. So I may or may not agree with moving in early. Hey, unfortunately, I've already kind of made that decision.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about from biblical. I'm not going to be Joel Osteen today. So what we're talking
But
about
we need to
is
pass the tithe and plate around before we get this thing
with the big,
started.
hey, let's get the GTT button
Tony
out.
Woodall, we need to get Tony Woodall over here.
So let's talk about scenarios. I came up with this because I overheard somebody. They were wanting to buy a house. They're in a relationship. They're scared to move forward because they don't know if this person will be there. So they were obviously wanting to move to a more expensive area. It was going to cost more. So this person was taking on a larger responsibility. So have you ever had, Stephen or Katrina, I appreciate the likes. Hey Shane Ray, thank you for tuning in, man.
He's also on Instagram right now too.
Ooh,
And
I'm going
Shawanda's
it.
watching too.
Uh-oh,
yes.
hey, Shawandarella.
So,
Taking you on a trip, baby.
has anybody ever had a situation in this room where they were advising a potential customer on buying a house and there was a couple and they were not married? Were
Yes.
you advising them? Did they have concerns about moving forward together?
They did not express concerns, but because my representation was specifically with the female, not the gentleman,
Mm-hmm.
then my advice had to be based on what was best for her, not on what would be best
Did he
for them
find
as a
out about
couple.
you? Did he hate your guts?
I said it in front of his face.
Mm.
Tina, she said she's been in this situation. We're the man. Have you been in this situation?
Yeah, I mean, anytime there's so many, this is such a wide topic, so everybody automatically thinks it's about relationship. It's the financing bubble is the big one, because when somebody obviously buys a house, they're using that other person's salary a lot of times to help out with those payments. Well, what happens if something happens in the relationship, and then the breadwinner, somebody that makes that money, that's paying that, moves off and has no financial ties to it, and then you're left there holding the bag. Also, there's another scenario with what type of loan it is. If it's a USDA loan and they live in the house,
what
they
a
have to
man.
go.
Did you write that down?
I did not. But
What are you doing over
I
here?
just wrote
you
our-
planning your trip over
yeah,
here?
I wrote
didn't
our-
think about that. That's a great point, weatherman.
So there's a loan out there that all first-time home buyers like. It's called a USDA loan. And so they have a certain guideline of what you can make in order to qualify for this loan. So now there's a
household.
household, that's right, household. For how many people's in a house, and we're not going to go into parameters because it's different for different counties. But if you have a boyfriend that lives in with you, he doesn't have to go on the loan, but he has to show his income. And so he can knock you out of being able to qualify for the house.
Okay, it's a great
Or
point.
her, or him.
Katina, you tell them about the law if things go wrong. I'm not exactly. I tried to get our girl on the phone to find out something, but here's what I'm going to bring out. I've got 5 points here, and we can discuss this. And Brittany Renee is trying to steal my. She's trying to steal my stuff.
Mike Orm just said, "Don't do it."
Don't do it, John. He's got some stuff on there. So follow this. So here's what I'm going to do. And hey, I'm leaving me out of this, by the way. So y'all don't try to sucker me into this topic because me and Brittany have recently done this. So number one
What
thing,
have y'all done exactly?
we've moved into a house together.
Oh, y'all not married?
We're not married.
Oh, well, y'all look like y'all married on the cameras and all that. I'm just now finding this out. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, man, thank you for that. I'm
Yeah.
sure she'll she'll make a comment about that later. So let's provide the scenarios. Most of the time when they're doing this, when I say they, the couple, they're probably basing combined incomes at that moment on what they're going to be able to. Let's say me and you're dating.
Right.
You left your wife, I left Brittany, me and you're dating now. Okay? Between us, we're going to go out there and get the nicest house we can possibly get.
Big house.
Big house, swimming pools,
Movie
saunas. So I think if you're going to do this, there's going to be one person. I don't know how it would be. We've got another topic about it if you both go on there. But a lot of times we see it. There's only one person on the note.
Right.
And so often the person not on the note's always the one giving us the most bullshit. Have you noticed that? The one not even on there, they're the one causing us the most problems. But I believe if you're buying this, and I'm with you, and we've got a financial responsibility, and it's only my name going on it, I need to make sure that I can buy this without you.
Sure.
If you break up for me and you decide you're going to go back to a woman or to a new man,
Right.
I need to make sure I can handle this financial responsibility on my own and without you.
Well, here brings up a great, you may have it down there. So at what point do you talk about putting them on the deed or not the deed?
I think, well, here's what I do think. I think usually in these situations, it's like Katrina said, where most of the times we have a stronger relationship with the person that's going to do the loan in their name. And most of the time we can't help but probably in our language, in our tone, in our energy we're giving them, we're probably trying to help protect them.
Yeah.
We may not even know we're doing it, but we're probably looking out for their best interest just naturally. Thank you, Nathan Sanders. About time you get on here. Joey Holt. Thank you, my man. So, I know some people may, that's really going into my number two, Stephen. Let me go ahead and get into number two, and we can talk more about what you're saying. So, emotions, feelings will change if there's a split. So it's very hard to be in today's moment.
Tony to call back.
What
was that?
all did you call us?
Tony Woodall?
No, Tony something.
Okay.
Tony, hey guys, sorry about that. We had a phone call come in. I've got it on, you missed all the great topics, all the controversy. It's over. So number two, let's talk about emotions, feelings will change if there is a split. What I mean by that, today we may feel very good about where we are, but things just happen. So how was the interest protected initially, which goes back to what you're talking about?
Right. So if I had a client, if I had somebody buying a house, whoever it is, and there was only one person on the note, although I can't give them legal advice, I can only give them opinion. And my opinion in this is do not put anybody on the deed if they're not financially responsible for the mortgage. Because what will happen is, what happens if there's a bad split? They move on for 2 or 3 years, you sell the house. Well, guess what those people on the deed are entitled to? The money, the revenue, what you make out there. They're on the half.
Well, Tony Woodall, go ahead, Kay. I think we've got somebody from our audience that may challenge that, weatherman.
You do know that according to Tennessee law, if they abide under the roof so much as one day,
Day.
they have to sign documentation at the sale of a home. It only takes one night under roof.
Say that into the camera and give me all the credit for that.
Yeah, this discussion came up with my couple. They were engaged, and part of the due diligence is in a similar situation. I had to have a person come in and sign documents that was no longer part of that property because they had had one night.
So what you're saying, if somebody lives in the house and then all of a sudden they split up, they're entitled to have to buy out their interest?
If they're married. I did not say they were entitled to buy out the interest.
Okay,
I
so
said
if they're
there
married.
is documentation that must be signed releasing them out of that house.
All right. Well, maybe you can help Tony Woodall. Hey, the great Tony Woodall. Does the couple that are living together get equal equity in the house if only one person's name is on the deed and the mortgage? Now, Brother Woodall, are we talking about the couple, meaning boyfriend, girlfriend, or are we talking about marriage?
No, it's gotta be because marriage, it throws everything out the window.
That's right. So I just want to clarify that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
So
you
does
stepping
I
on
don't
toes.
I don't know, does common law marriage, is that real?
Yes.
Is that a myth?
No.
So if me and Brittany Renee are together 7 years and we sell this house, do you think that's real?
There is common law marriage
Okay.
after 7 years.
Okay.
Hang in there 7 years. 6 more to go, Brittany.
We'll
6 more
we'll
to
be
go.
married before then, honey. So does the couple that are living together get equal equity? What do you think? How would that? I don't know about that, Tony.
Tennessee is not a common law state. Not a common law. It is not a
Katina Carney said not in Tennessee.
right.
Okay, so Brother Woodall, that may answer it. But hey, here's what happens though in these situations. They get so ugly where, let's say me and Weatherman were living together
Back to us again.
romantically, and what's going on with her?
He also washes all my clothes. He cleans my car up every week.
Well,
And
something's
he
wrong
fills
with
it
her.
up with gas.
We're freezing up.
Oh,
Well,
that's what
you're
happened.
still live on Instagram.
Okay, we're still live on here. So here's what happens, man. Think about all the disputes you get into when you do this. Let's just say me and Weatherman, he's the breadwinner. He puts all the money into it, but I'm helping him make payments.
Yeah.
He's charging
Or
me rent, or
Buy all the furniture.
okay.
Buy all the stuff that goes in the house. Do all the landscaping.
So should you have all this stuff written up into some kind of agreement, or
Let's ask this. Would you go and borrow money from a bank or somebody charging you interest without having a contract signed?
no? But that's different. I mean, that's a business deal. Now we're going into a whole different area where we're talking about some trust issues. So
Well, here's
if
the-
me and you're dating and you're making me sign this, I'm getting back on Tinder. And I'm
Well,
gonna look around.
Here's the problem. At the end of the day, if you don't have those upfront conversations, it's going to be a lot worse on the end. I'd rather fight out on the front end than fight it out on the back end.
I agree, but how
know.
often do you think people are doing that?
Well, how often do people sometimes dividing up $50,000 to $100,000 and think everything's going to be hunky dory when somebody's mad for the breakup? Let's just say that you and Brittany are together and you get out here.
I like ours.
Well, we already broke up. So let's just say you and Brittany are together, and you get out here and you make a mistake that
A mistake?
yeah, that says she wants to leave you. Let's just say you get out here and you run around. Let's just throw it out there. Let's
Wait a minute,
just
there's a
throw
lot
it
of
out
way-
there.
Hey, I keep getting these friend requests from all these supermodels
Well, yeah.
on Facebook. I mean, they're like
So anyway,
models.
so I know. So let's just say you do that. So there's a emotion there that goes along with. Now they're mad, they're upset, and then there's a lot of money involved. If you had that conversation on the front end, you'd have something.
Would it have
worked out.
mattered? Would it have mattered at that point?
If you have an
if I
agreement
done
in
it?
place, it would.
I wonder how the courts do that. I mean, I don't know how they would do that.
I don't know.
I
I'm
know
not-
how they would do it. So let's move along to number 3, okay? Here's something. Somebody say something funny?
Brittany and Renee, you are definitely a lot funnier than your spouse over here. Should we have drafted up a contract? I mean, I pay the Comcast bill. That's hilarious. That's probably.
Hey, if you leave me,
That's
Brittany,
funny.
I'm going with you, so it don't matter. Number 3, here's something that I had to deal with, and it sucks. Is who's making the decision on the buy or the sell?
Mm.
If you're representing the buyer and
No. I'm talking about it within the relationship of who gets. Do you get equal say so?
Well,
I guess what should be
the
fair.
person's name that's on the paper.
Is that the way it goes? Is that the way it should happen?
I can tell you in my house, it's as far as me and my wife, if we wasn't married, she would have the most say so because as a man, I want to make her happy.
Yep.
And so I would want her to be happy with whatever we bought. Most men, it really doesn't matter as much too. There are some people out there. But at the end of the day, even when you bought this house, you bought this with a vision on making Brittany Nicholas happy.
Right.
It didn't matter if you lived in it.
I could have stayed in the ghetto, but it was
Ghetto, yeah, right. So that's kind of what most scenarios are, I believe.
So, in your experiences, who usually runs the show in these scenarios where there's a couple, not married, no ring? Who usually makes those decisions?
I've had it go both ways. I've had it be the female, and I've had it be the guy who's buying the house.
Well, not look into the female or the guy buying it. Let's just say the purchaser and the person that's.
I've had it both sides.
Is it fair? Because I've had that before too, where one person that was not going on there, she clearly decided where they were gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they clearly decided where they wanted to go.
Yeah, and that's a tough, because most time you've already said it. The ones that don't have anything invested, or a lot of times, are the ones that are hardest to deal with, and so they put a lot of pressure on because it ain't their money at risk. And I don't mean that disrespectful or anything like that. If I'm going out shopping with somebody, I have no problem giving my opinions on it because it's not my money. You know, so that happens a lot.
So, do you have anything to add to that one? Nothing? You don't like that one? All right, number 4. If you're not on the note, how much say-so do you have?
It all goes to relationship.
Yeah, you gotta
I don't
have
think there is
50-50.
a fair.
Is it relationships or is it expectations like he was saying? Now, this guy, my boyfriend, was saying we had to have something set up front, something in writing.
Yeah. I mean, that's just common sense, because what happens is you might as well have it over with and up front. I'm telling you, you're gonna have a major blow up. How many divorces go well? And that's not even, that's when you've been married 20 years and they don't go very well. So think about something that somebody is wanting to get the most out of. Now, I think everybody's entitled to their part. So if y'all could live together for 30 years, at that point,
Y'all,
you
you
deserve-
talking about me?
I'm talking about anybody in general. So let's just say somebody lives with somebody for 6 months and they break up. Are they entitled to the equity in the house? In your
I don't know.
opinion?
I don't know. I don't know what their agreement was.
There we go.
Let's skip to number 5. This is my last one. We'll open this up for more discussion. Have we had a situation where 2 people are buying a house, but only one person is going on the loan, but they're taking money from the person not going on the loan and they're putting it into the house?
Yes.
Have we?
Yeah. Last year.
How should that be handled?
Is
that
is
fair?
that legal?
Yes.
It is legal. You
There's
take it
a-
from your
there's
boyfriend,
a-
right?
There's a legal way to do it.
Okay, good. I didn't know.
We
I thought it
closed our
was.
clients a little
Yeah.
over a year ago.
Okay.
And I will not name names, but we closed clients then.
Okay.
Let's
The
embarrass
one
them. Who was it?
provided, I will not, the one provided income to the other, and the other was the one that was holding the mortgage.
Okay, so how would you feel about that if you had a relationship with the person that was giving the money so they could buy the house, but they were not going on the note? How would you feel about that? What would you tell them? How can they
But
get
you
their
have
money
to look
back?
at why they couldn't. Maybe the individual doesn't qualify to go on.
Or
Okay,
maybe he's in sales and maybe he doesn't have the.
Maybe the 1099 time's not right, you know?
but okay, well, what if they sell that house? It's not in that person's name. How do they exchange the money? How do they break it up? Can that money be protected by law for that person?
You
Not
have
an
a
attorney, no
notarized,
place.
notarized.
That's what we
signed
need to
document.
know. I've tried to call Amy Kane and get this question answered. If me and Brittany Renee go somewhere, she puts the house in her name, I give her money for the down payment, she breaks up with me, she starts dating Steven, what can I do to recapture my money?
If you don't have an agreement like we talked about,
Well, if you're in that situation, I guess what we're saying is you might want to get legal advice.
Yeah, I think about
If
that.
you're in that scenario where you're giving the money, but the note's going in their name, you may want to make sure that somehow you can get that money back. I don't know. I think you can, but I don't know what it's called because I'm not an attorney and I'm not smart enough.
is there a difference in you living in a house and own it, and then somebody moving in and living there 5 or 6 years, compared to buying it together with one person on the deed? Is there any difference in that scenario compared to buying it?
Sorry. What?
So if you own the house, and you and Brittany start dating and she moves into the house,
Yeah.
what's the difference in the scenarios?
I think the scenarios would be it's very emotional to go out and do this together.
I agree.
I mean, it's a process that you're starting together, and I think when you do it together, I think that clouds boundaries. If you were to move in with me, it was already established that it's my house. You wouldn't feel as entitled.
But
What do you
what happens if I take care
I
of the
think
house?
it's still a legal mess.
I think
Because
so too.
exactly what he's saying, it's gonna be governed by law and courts.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
100% gonna be governed on. by
Brittany,
law
we
and
ain't
courts.
got no equity in this house. I did a reverse mortgage. Okay, so we got, hey, James Knight, our insurance man, how you doing, buddy? Scott Abernathy. Now, Scott Abernathy is somebody that can just eliminate all his emotions, so we can't take his advice. Treat it like a partnership. I have the out written up before the start. Well, Scott, I don't think you can do that in a relationship, can you?
He said he bought his first house with his girlfriend.
Where'd you see that?
Where
Right
there
on
was
up
Scott
here.
Abernathy.
Well, I
Right
can't
here,
see all
Scott
that
Abernathy.
stuff. Well, again, Scott is, he has very, very limited emotions, so he can probably do that sort of thing. I don't know, maybe, and again, I'm leaving myself out of this.
John
So,
says most of the scenarios should be based solely on financial issues and both parties should protect their own interest and put emotions aside.
who said that?
John?
Giovanni.
Okay.
Giovanni.
Okay.
That's
No, I
what
agree with what John's saying. He said that earlier, I think, that it is a financial decision. And if you're looking to do this, again, what you're probably doing in the moment is you're combining everything. You're combining your incomes. You're combining your buying power and your lifestyle. And then you want to go out and get as much of a house as you possibly can. Well, if something happens, see, if you're not married, I guess it does matter if you're married or not. But those people can get away a lot easier. They're not on the hook when they're not on there, so they can get out of it. Therefore, leaving you to kind of handle all this on your own, like John said.
The only good thing about it is you can only qualify with your income, so you really can't buy too much of a house to put you in a bad scenario unless you're on the note with them.
Okay, that's right. But what if you still overextend yourself? What if you're still buying something based off those other people helping you out?
Well, most time when we're in that role, that's not what we're thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
We're emotional type creatures. When we buy a used car, we're not thinking about what if it blows up when we drive off the car lot.
If we're getting on an airplane, we don't think about it.
Yeah, we knew that was coming.
But that's a
So-
good question. What if you pass away?
Then it's whoever. If you're not on the deed, it goes to your heirs unless you have some kind of
So it
agreement.
depends on what tenancy is set up from the very
So
Well,
beginning.
that's what I'm talking about. If you have the, it depends
It
on.
depends on if you're at
That is
joint
risky.
tenancy.
Yeah, joint
I
common,
mean,
yeah.
there's
If you're
so
not
many-
in if you're not in the closing room and the title blade don't look over you and say, "How do you want me to do this?" Most of the time, if you don't have that set in place, then whenever it falls, it goes to whatever side you pick. So whether it's your girlfriend or whether it's your family, and most of the time, very few people are going to side with the girlfriend if you're not married compared to if you got kids or if you got family members. So, no offense to Tommy, but if it was the other way around, it'd be hard for a mother to decide does it go to Tommy, does it go to my son? You know, because that's an emotional thing. I want to take care of my family, I want to take care of my kids. So, but that's a great question. In the event if somebody passes away, that's another thing to think about as far as seeking an attorney and a will, or if you don't have a will, to make sure that everybody's protected.
That's right. So, hey, listen, Nathan, he said, Nathan Sanders from Iberia Bank, hey, it's their sponsor down there. Talk to a preferred attorney or the settlement company before closing. No, John, you're exactly right. That I believe that you've got to look at this like it's based solely on a financial issue. Your obligation, can you take care of it? But it's so, I think a lot of people are probably uncomfortable to have these conversations up front.
But when this comes to you as an agent, do you know what your responsibilities are?
I think it's to the one person or the person.
What if they are
the
both on the representation agreement? How do you advise them?
Whoever I like more. No, how do you do it? You legally do both,
You
right?
send them to an attorney to find out exactly what tenancy they should be getting, because there are so many
So like
different
when we're
types.
checking on the contract, it's different. It's like joint tenants in common, blah blah blah.
Yeah, because some have rights of survivorship and some do not.
So
Do they have to be on the representation though together if they're not on the? Because at the end of the day, you're not representing both of them. You represent the ones that qualify unless they're going on the deed. So I don't understand that. And I may be wrong. So I mean, I'm not.
But that's something we should actually be telling all our clients anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, how many agents actually discuss with their clients? You should probably talk to an attorney and find out exactly
just trying to
how
get you
you
to sign
want
this
your
that
deed done.
check.
get us paid, man.
No, baby.
Sign right
Sign right
here.
here. Let's get this done.
press hard, get out of here.
But that's what the realization of most agents are.
Yeah.
Want to show you house, sell your house.
Well, it's very
get to the closing.
uncomfortable. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very uncomfortable to have these conversations, and then you're probably creating. You might feel like you could be creating doubt with somebody in the relationship. So it's something that we don't really like to talk about.
Scott's got a really good point. He said if someone's uncomfortable with this conversation, they shouldn't be buying real estate together.
There's that no emotion guy.
There's that
Talking.
guy that's coming in here and ruining our fun. I agree with you, Scott. You're right. But man, think about really how easy it is to go buy a house. I mean, if you're 18, you could go buy a house over there, new girl, if you wanted. You could go out there and just buy a house. I mean, it's
Or Libby. Either one.
new girl,
New
Libby.
I'll take it.
You could go out there and buy a house. I mean, just imagine if you had somebody with you and you want to go out there and buy a house. You don't know much. I mean, I don't know. Is there an age, I guess, to get a loan? Is it 18?
Well, let's ask this. Let's just say you got a boyfriend. So let's say you buy the house in your name. He splits up. Are you going to want to give him $25,000 for him to leave?
No.
Well,
So
what you think today is something you may not agree to later on down the road.
But that's everybody's thought. I mean, she's very honest, which is great. But that is how people's thoughts are. Once the relationship is over, the mad and the upset feelings come along with it. To the fact of I ain't giving you jack. I'll let it go back before I give you anything.
I'll let it go back, Jack.
You know.
So, hey, if you're in this situation, and I'm not saying don't do it, but I do think
Ignite my hairdresser.
he's got some looking pretty today before you go down to Disney World.
Yeah.
I believe if you're going to do this, like Scott, my buddy with no emotion, I do think you need to have these conversations with each other, and don't be scared about talking about that. I think it helps the connection to talk about these potential situations.
James said just buy a dog for starters, see how it works
Yeah,
out.
Brad Phelan.
You go, James. I love it.
Brad Elam was having, and you know, most of the times, if you're open enough to have these conversations, because you can only imagine you're getting hit by your family and your friends, everybody giving you their advice, everybody giving you the worst case scenarios, nobody really giving you anything. So if you can have those tough conversations, chances are you're not going to have to worry about it.
Write this down. One of our other shows we need to do. Who are you listening to?
Ooh,
Because very seldom they're not listening to who they should be.
we need a hashtag topic by Baby Blue Eyes on that.
Baby blue eyes. All right, before we shut this thing down, I do want to add, hey, we are not saying do not go out and buy a house together. We're just saying be responsible. Think about what would this look like if this other person is not there to help me get through this. Have we uncovered things that where I'm protected? And I'm talking, not saying me.
Yeah, I understand.
Not saying me, clearing that up. Are you protected if something goes wrong? If this person, if they move on, another thing is buying as much house as you can, even if you're married on both combined incomes. That ain't a smart thing to do anyway. So,
Well, it's a great thing to do, and not trying to use you, but it's amazing when you can do this purchase together. It does draw you together as a family. Although it definitely is it the conformer way, probably not. But even yourself, you probably have noticed that you feel like you got this family atmosphere. I've seen you doing homework. I've seen y'all doing all these videos together. So there's a very powerful thing in creating something. So it's not all doom and gloom, and it's not all going to be bad. Several couples end up getting married, living long lives, and making a great investment.
and maybe
down
they're
the
going
road.
to get married.
Yeah, absolutely,
Maybe they're gonna get
absolutely.
married. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
so let's say, do we have any takeaways? You go first. What was your takeaway?
The
today?
takeaway is we're definitely not lawyers, and it's definitely as agents, we probably ought to advise our clients that are in this to definitely seek some kind of counsel just to be a better agent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To make sure that we're not trying to answer questions like we always do and try to act like we know everything instead of saying, hey, it's probably best if you seek some kind of advice from somebody else.
Right.
What's your takeaway, Katrina?
Mine's the same. We cannot possibly operate fully in every area. So, just like Romo says all the time, stay in your lane. I'm going to stay in my lane as an
Who's
agent.
Romo?
Robert Morris.
Or Tony. Either one.
There you go. So, I'm gonna stay in my lane and I'm gonna say, look, there are so many different forms of home ownership that carries right of survivorship, not right of survivorship, that goes to the kids, it goes to the wife. You need to hook up and find someone and have them explain to you verbatim so you can understand exactly what putting a name on a deed means. And make sure that we're doing our
It ain't as
clients
simple as
justice.
it just.
It is not as simple as you think.
And you know what? It's not going to be a problem until you're in that situation. If everything goes smooth, it won't matter. But hey, that time you need it, you're going to say, why didn't we just take 10 minutes? Or why didn't I take 10 minutes and just figure this out? Kathleen, is there anything you would like to add?
You guys were amazing, geniuses.
Genius.
I think you also need to get a financial counselor involved, not just an attorney, because that financial counselor is going to advise you just as I would advise someone. Don't go out and buy
I'll
the
be
most
their
home.
financial counselor.
Don't go there.
I'm the financial. I'm that guy.
You're that
Libby,
guy.
Libby, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Just say bye from the weatherman.
Back from the window.
There we go.
Bye from the weatherman. All right. Again, we didn't bring in anything godly on this, so that was not the purpose of the
No.
show. The purpose of the show is if you're looking to buy a house and you've got someone you're going to do this, make sure that both people are protected. Make sure both people really understand where we are today and how it's going to look at this dissolve. So I hope you found some content or this content valuable. Please like, please share, please tell everybody to watch this show. And we're going to pick one review. Hey, how many people shared
It
this?
looks quite a bit.
How many shares we got?
Hey, Kim Chatley.
We got 11 shares. Oh, she's got a question. Why do the title companies ask us agents how the buyers want to take ownership? This is a buyer's decision and not ours. You're exactly right, Kim.
Yeah.
If they were asked me, I wouldn't even know how to answer that. Hey, Todd McBride, how you doing,
Because
man?
it's our responsibility to advise the buyer as the buyer's representative.
Is it
to
ours or
seek
should it
legal
be an
counsel.
attorney?
It is our responsibility to advise them to seek legal counsel as to how they should take possession.
Okay. I probably have brushed through that too
Yeah.
much, but I've learned something today. This is something you probably need to take a little bit more seriously.
Misty Sexton, you say that she come in here late, something.
What'd she say?
Well, she had said something right here. At the time, is now my
Thank you,
husband.
James.
First one. Anyway, you can read it. I can't. I just
You can't read.
can't
Admit
read
it.
it up. I'm
At the
nervous
time,
about
he's not my
this airplane trip.
Hey, you want me to give you some whiskey?
Yeah.
First one.
Mm-hmm. Good show, fellas. Thank you, James Palin.
No, you're exactly right, Mister. But a lot of people, they don't have these conversations. They just don't do it. So we appreciate the likes, the shares. We've been going 37 minutes. Don't forget, next Wednesday, we do Real Estate 101, 1 o'clock, tomorrow night. I don't know if I can do Straight from the Gut tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I've got a fundraiser I've got to go to. So may do Straight from the Gut a little bit sooner. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. We will see you soon. Hey, pray for the weatherman. He's getting on an airplane.
On an airplane.
Kathleen, can you shut us off, please?
So
Y'all have a
bad.
great day. Thank you for tuning in. Are you nervous? Are you
Love
nervous?
that.
Are you?
Have you never